what we till Monday, from Monday to today, what we discussed here. So we are discussing about the SAP work process administration part here. SAP, the work process administration. This is the first topic which we are discussing here, work process administration. So what is mean by this work process means during the SAP installation, there are the seven work process means as we know SAP is a one of the newly constructed home. We assume SAP is a newly constructed home, which means inside of the home how the family members will stay same as like here as well. So from the so work process will stay inside of the SAP. SAP is a application server. Okay, application software, right? So here, this is a middle layer. So a presentation layer, application layer, and DB layer. So in the three layers, application is the middle layer here, right? In the work process, we are discussing about the dialog, update, enqueue, background, message server, gateway, spool, DV, EB, MGS. So that word you need to remember. Okay. So shortcut. So and also at the same time, we discussed about the what is mean by dialog. So dialog work process, right? So dialog work process is responsible for to take the user request and process the user request. So whenever you are logging to the SAP system, so dialog work process will take the request and will process your request here, right? So here you can use the any one of the system. We have the two SIDs are there, NP1 and WV, right? So you can use the any SID and you can also use the either default users, right? So first time we are logging to the SAP system, we don't have any users. Then what is the user we have to log in means either SAP star or DDIC. Then after that we have to create our own users here, right? So you can use your own user. We can create our own user, but initial login, first time login to the SAP system. So we have to use the either SAP star or DDIC with the passwords during the installation, which we have given, right? So here, we have yesterday I have created the one user like basis user with the same password I have created, right? So you can able to log into the system, right? Instead of using the SAP star and DDIC, we can use the basis user as well, right? So here, while login to the SAP system, the client number is very important here, the client number. So basically, by default, whenever doing the installation, you won't get the all the clients. You will only get the two clients here, 000 and 00 client. So what is this client means? In the inside of the client, we will do the our activities. Inside of the client, we will do the our business related activities and our transactions data. We will store it here, but we will not, so it's not recommended to use the SAP provided clients, right? So client is the one of the business entity where we can store the business data, means transactions data. So inside of that client, so definitely client creation is required. The topic will come after the work process administration completed, right? So now as part of this one, so you can use the any client. Then, so you can also use the DDIC or so so you can also use the any user, any password, you can use it. Then we can log into the here, right? Passwords, I think already in the group, right? We will share it again in the passwords. So you can log into the SAP system here. This is the SAP screen where we can do the so practice. Practice means executing the transaction code here. Once you successfully log into the SAP screen here, see here, you got this screen here. Here, this is the OK code box here. Here we have to enter the all transactions. We have to enter it here. So we have the multiple teams will log into the same system. They will execute the transactions. Similarly, like here, we will also check the work process status, go to the SM50. So tomorrow someone will ask you to check the how to check the work process status in SM50. Sir, your status of the work process is waiting, sleep, stopping, running, and everything. You can see it here. And work process, type of the work process, number, and process ID, all the information is available here, right? And also you can check the SM66 here. SM66, you can see the work process related status here, SM66 here, right? So 66 means global work process overview. Yesterday we discussed what is mean by local, what is mean by global here, right? Then that is what we discussed yesterday. So today only one work process we discussed yesterday and dispatcher, right? So today we'll discuss about the V for update work process, update work process here, the second work process here. So what is mean by update work process? So in the name itself, update work process means updating the updating the user records into the DB level. So user will log into the dialog mode. User will log into the dialog mode. Okay. Dialog mode means with the dialog work process will pick up, he will log into the system. Then after that, once he done any transactions or anything, who will update into the DB table levels, table level, who will update, right? So normally SAP is a three-tier architecture that we know, right? It's a presentation layer, SAP layer, and a DB layer. So this is the layer which we are discussing here. This is the layer which we are discussing here. So this is the SAP GUI or SAP login pad. This is the database level which will store the data which is coming from the application level, which is data coming, it is stored the data here, right? From here we will connect to the SAP application here. Suppose in the screen, if you've done any transaction here, what will happen? Then it will store the data into the DB table level. It will store the data, right? Database level, table level, it will store the data here. DB table level, it will store the data here. DB table level, it will store the data here, right? This is what we need to check: presentation layer, and application layer, and DB layer here. These are the three layers are there. It will store the data here, right? So here, but you are doing here how the changes are moving to the DB table level here. So here, update work process will take care of the your request here. Here, update work process will take care of the our request here, right? Suppose example, so when you are doing the transactions, normally, so update related transaction codes, each work process, there is a dedicated transaction codes here. So SM13 is the to check the if any failed update if any failed update records, then you have to check as part of the day-to-day activity. We can check the update status here. Update is status, active or inactive, active or inactive. So that status we can check it out in the SM14 here. So these two transaction codes are related to the update here, right? SM13 to check if any failed update records are there or not. We will check in the update here, right? SM14 update status here. So normally, so these are the day-to-day daily transaction codes here, daily monitoring transaction codes. Every day we have to log into the SAP system. We need to execute the transaction code, see if there are any failures, and we need to reprocess it here, right? And also we need to check the active or not. Update is active or not. We need to check it out this one here, right? So why? Because normally if the update is not updating the records into the DB table level, so then definitely your changes will not be reflected. Changes will not be reflected here, right? So that's the reason update is very important here. Sometimes we see normally outside when you book the ticket or when you done the payment, immediately it will not be reflected, right? It will take after 24 hours or 30 hours, it will be reflected. Sometimes normally, suppose if you see the month end or the starting of the first to 10th, so your EMIs are all will be deducted, right? Same day it will be detected, but in the next day you will get the message or updates, something like that. Your amount has been deducted in the statement. It will be updated. Means it will take some time. So it will take some time. Same as like SAP also. So in case update is not working, even your changes are not reflected into the database level as well. So that is what will happen here. So right, changes will not be reflected here. Suppose example, if you go to the SM13 here, right? So here we can check the all, means you want to check the cancelled and everything. Then if you check, go to the, you can change the just date, from date and to date, you can change it. Then just scroll down, just click on the execute, just execute it and see if there are any failed update records. If there are any field update records. I see yesterday or day before yesterday, there is a one field update record from the user is called the SAP star user, the 200 client. Maybe he's trying to do the some local client copy or something. It got error. It got error status here. Error means whatever the he is doing that got failed due to some incorrect or duplicate or something is happened. It got failure here. It got interval is missing something. Update was cancelled here. Right? It got failure. Right? So this type of things we need to take care. This type of things we have to take care here. So just try to repeat. Maybe let's see whether this will be processed or not. Let's see here. Right? No, still it is not processing. Why? Because that data already exists. This is a duplicate data. Then we can ignore it here. So SM13 we can see if any failed update records are not. So what from which date to which date? From so 01st to today, any day anything failed or not, we can check it out. If you remove the date, it will show the all the information will show from here, right? So that is the update thing. If you go to the SM14 here we can see the update is active or not. If the update is deactivated, then definitely the user is deactivated, who is the user and all the information we will come to know here. Update got deactivated here. So this type of information we will get in the here, right? Update was deactivated here. Update has been deactivated, right? So see here, update has been deactivated here, right? So like this, we can see the information here, right? So this is the updating the records. Suppose what happens if the update has been deactivated here, right? So let me go to the SM14, right? SM14. So update got deactivated now. Now update got deactivated. It will not update anything here. Now I will go to the so one more screen here. I will take the one more screen. Let me try to create. There is a different user here, right? So just to I'm trying to create the one different user. So I have done the my company code adjustments or some user creation. Now when I'm trying to save it here, the data will not be saved. The data will not be saved here. So why? Because here you can see the in the bottom toolbar status update delayed. Please wait. Update delayed means update is not working. Update is not taking your transaction, right? Update is delayed. Update is not taking your transaction here. Why? Because you have stopped the update. You have deactivated the update work process here. Update work process. If we go to the SM13, you see, so you see, if you go to the SM13, if you see here, there is a one more entry here, update V1 processed means some it's processed, but it's not storing at a database level here. It's V1 processed, which means why it is not processing means because of update got deactivated here. Update got deactivated. So that's why it's saying that update delayed means your transaction is not getting saved at database level, right? It's not getting saved into database level. So it's keep on loading here, right? So then in that case, what I can do here, I will go to the SM14, then you check, oh, it seems like a update was deactivated. Just click on the activate the update, then come back to the same screen here and see now your data will be saved now. What data will be saved now? Now you can see, just observe the same screen here. Now you will get the one prompt like your data has been successfully saved, something like that. You will get the here, right? User got created now. So how and what happened? So when you're doing this transaction, your data got say your update got deactivated. So that's the reason. So it's not updating. So here update is the very important here. Update is the very important. Now see, nothing is there, zero records, which means that got processed. That got processed here. So that's zero records here. So this is about the update related transaction codes here. Update related transaction code. Update means updating the user records, updating the user records into so tables level. So into table level here, that is called by the update work process here. right? Update. We can see the status of the update, whether active or inactive. SM14. In case of inactive, deactivated, we have to activate it here. To check whether any field update records in the last 24 hours or last 48 hours, we can check the SM13. SM13, we can check it out here. So this is about the update. Okay. So the next one is called the E. E for Enqueue work process here, right? So Enqueue work process here. What is Enqueue work process here? Enqueue. So it is kind of SM12 and locking mechanism. Locking mechanism here. Locking mechanism. So what is meant by locking mechanism means whenever suppose example, so there is a one bus ticket here, right? Window seat 32 something you are booking. You are the one person you are trying to reach. One more person is trying to reach. One more person is trying to reach here, right? Same seat you are also planning to book. Same seat is also planning to book here, right? Whoever first hit click that seat, whoever confirm that one, that seat is allocated to that person only. So in that case, what will happen? So why? So why means, so here NQ sir, whenever you are logged into the system, so whenever you are logged into the system, so immediately the NQ work process will lock your transaction until you log off. It will lock your transaction until you complete your transaction. It will be locked by means other users cannot do the editing. While you are doing the edit, others users cannot do the edit here. So that is called the locking mechanism here. So this type of things will be done by the NQ work process. So NQ work process is responsible for locking the locking the request here. Suppose example, if you see here, I am trying to do the something here, right? I am trying to do the something in the system here, right? Something I'm trying to create something here, some groups I'm trying to create here. So one more person here at the same time, one more person at the same time here is also trying to do the similar thing here, right? He's also trying to do the similar thing here. Then it will, so he is also doing the similar thing here, right? So but let me check where I logged in here. This is a NWB, right? So let me log out one system. Okay, so here SMLG, I just went to the SMLG here. So just click on the create symbol here, right? So then let me take the one more session, new GUI window. So multiple sessions we can create it. There is a limitation, I think 10 or 11. So we can use it here. So again, one more person is already doing. Then again, I am trying to create it here. It will say that like that. So already currently the table information is already editing logged by the some other person. We have only display access here. We have only display access here, display access here, which means some transactions, some table level records, some transactions, only one person has to edit it at same time, not the other persons. If the both the persons are editing at the same time, there is a inconsistency. There is a inconsistency. That is the reason only one person has to edit the transaction here. Only one person has to edit the transaction code here. Until after we finish it, we have to done it here. Same way, say, so here, this type of locking mechanism when you are doing, so here in SM12 transaction code, so the NQ, so here just check the what is the client here. If you don't know the client, remove the client. Then what is the user? If you know the user, put, otherwise just remove it. Just click on the list button here. Then you will see the what is the, so who is the user? So who is the locked that transactions, right? So that is the user is trying to do the locking. Is trying to do the locking of the system here. Means is this user is doing something. That's why system got locked. System got locked by system. The NQ work process locked is transaction here. As soon as he completes, as soon as he complete the transaction, suppose he done the editing, then as soon as he done the transaction, he come out of the screen, immediately what the enqueue work process will now you see there is a list of lock entries are there here. Just if we click on the refresh button, the lock entries will go away. Lock entries will gone now. So which means what is happening here means whenever you trying to edit something, immediately whenever trying to edit something, immediately enqueue work process will lock the your transaction, which means it will update the what you are doing and everything. The lock entries will be displayed here so that so that so any other person also doing the similar table updates, what will happen, it will say like already one person is locked by this table, please try after some time, like that we will get the message same as like here also you will get the message like already being used by the other person, something like that you will get the message here. So this is the enqueue locking mechanism, enqueue locking mechanism here, that is called the SM12. SM12 is the transaction code for locking the for locking the transaction. Locking system will take care of that one. You no need to do anything here. So as part of our regular activity, day-to-day activity, we have to execute the SM2 and check are there any check here any failed update records. Sorry, any lock entries which are older than 24 hours. If any lock entries which are older than 24 hours, then what we have to do, we need to get the approval and remove the lock entry from here. There is a way to remove the lock entry. So here there is a delete button. This is the delete button here, right? So we can select it, then just remove delete the that lock entry here. So but deletion, after you check with your manager or team lead, if they are okay to delete it, we can delete it. What happens if you delete without any informing, then if the user is doing something, whatever he is doing, his changes will lost, then again he will do the escalation. So to avoid this kind of things, before you do anything in the system, please check with your manager, get the approval, then you can go ahead and delete the things here, right? This is a locking mechanism, right? Here the locking mechanism will be taken care by the enqueue work process. Enqueue work process here, right? Enqueue work process here, right? This is about the enqueue SM12 enqueue SM12 locking mechanism enqueue work process here, right? The update records, update work process SM13, we can see it here. So updates related things here, enqueue and updates here, right? So this is about the update and enqueue, right? These are the two work process, but enqueue we have only one transaction code, that is called the SM12. Update we have two transaction codes, and dialog also we have the two transaction code SM50, SM66 here. So apart from that, we also discussed about the SM04, SM04 and AL08 also here. SM04 is like, so logged on users list here. How many users are logged into your SAP system, that information will be displayed here, what they are doing and everything here, right? And also AL08 means global, means all the instances, how many users are logged, not the one the instances, all the instances, how many users are logged in. So that information is displayed here. That information is displayed here. So that is called the global work process overview here. Local, global, and SM50, SM66, SM04, SM66. That is what we discussed AL08. So that is what we discussed about the yesterday, right? So today we discussed about the update and enqueue work process here. Update and enqueue work process here, right? So apart from that enqueue, so there are the other transaction codes in the system, like, so these are the general usage, which means, so suppose you want to, normally the developers will use SA38 or SE38 transaction code to execute the programs and reports and etc. They will do the SA38 or SE38 transaction code to execution of the programs and reports. Execution of the programs and reports, they will do that one here, right? So SA38 or SE38 here. We will use this transaction codes. So they will write the programs, they will execute the programs. Then SE38, so they will edit means, so they will create the programs, they will change the programs, they will whatever they want they can do it here. So this is the program execution. Normally developers will execute. Sometimes you may be asked like, so how to execute the programs or how to create the programs or reports in a system. So you can use the SA38 or SE38 transaction code to do this kind of work here. To do this kind of work we have to use the so SA38 or SE38 here. So normally developers will do this kind of things here. Programs. Normally they will write the programs, codes and everything here. This is the coding. They will write the coding here. They will put the coding here. They click on the create and they will write the logic and everything here. So that's their duty. But where they will execute it here, they will execute it here. Here they will execute it here. So here they will do the all kind of things here. Normally programs means it will starts with the RS star something like that. So RS. So all the programs only, but the reports and everything will comes under like RS. See here, so as soon as our installation is completed, we need to run the SGen. So if you run the SGen, so load generator, so then we don't face this type of slowness issues here. We don't face any slowness issues here. So now you see, we are waiting. Why? Because so SGen is important here. SGen, load generator is very important here. So SGen is the, SGen is the transaction code. This is one of the post installation activity, SGen. So generator, generator, load generator to compile the programs. To compile the programs, we have to programs and everything. We need to use the SGen here, right? So to speed up the screens after the installation, we need to go to the SGen load generator. So here we have to execute the yes gen so that so that our system will be very fast. It won't give any immediately as soon as you enter the transaction code, you will get the information. So select the all the components, go to the generate the all the objects, go to the components list here. So which all the objects we have to run the SGen. All the objects we have to run the object. But currently I am just only doing for above, right? So then after that, someone do for this one, this one, this one. So normally, otherwise, just you can select all, we can do it. So currently I'm doing for above here. One I have selected here, right? So then so click on the continue button here, right? So click on the continue. Right. So why? Because after you execute this one, you can see the system performance will be very fast. System performance will be very fast here. That is what we have to do it here. System performance will be very fast. So we want compiling. Compilation means the programs, everything is getting compiled. So normally after the installation is completed, we need to run the SGen in the system to get more speed up of the programs and screens, everything. We have to use it here, right? So that is what to run it here. Once it is done, we will get the run the job. We will run the job. Then automatically it will start the all the information and everything here. So how many number of objects? Objects means the programs are there. 13,000 programs are there here, right? So it is calculating how many are there and everything. It is calculating. Right? So just to select it, just execute the flag means job, start the job here, start the job here, so that the so that it will start using the. So there is a one background job will be scheduled here. There is a one background job will be scheduled here. So if you go to the SM50, you go to the SM50 and see the status, how the job is running and everything, it will occupy the all the work process here. It will occupy the all the work process in the system here. Now 8 out of 10. 8 are free. So just means these jobs are executing here. Now just click on the refresh button. See here, out of 10, 2 are free, means 8 already using here, means who is the user? This one. What is the program? It is running sgen. Sgen load generator program is running here. Why? Because it will use the multiple work process. It will occupy the multiple work process here. So it is running here. So it is running in the system. So after execution of this sgen, you see system performance is very good. Means it will be very speed to get the response from the system here, right? So sgen we have to execute it here. Then SE38 or SA38 for the program for report execution. SA38 or SE38 is for the programs or report execution. So normally our developers will create the source code, write programs and variants and everything in this transaction codes here. So they will create it. So, but there is a standard programs will come as part of the installation. There is a standard programs will come as part of the installation here. So that standard programs will like a, it will starts from RS something like that. It will come here. Just click on the, so browse, press on the browse, then so the data you will get. Why? Because during the installation, you will get the default data from SAP. So the default programs and everything you will get. So we can also, instead of doing the developments, so you can also use the existing programs and to execute it here. We can also use the existing program and we can execute it here. We can execute it here. That is also we can do in the system here. Right? This is a SA38 or SE38. So this is a manual execution of the programs and the reports here. So SGen is for the load generator to compile the programs and reports. So then we have to use the SGen speed up purpose. So suppose if we want to see the tables data, if you want to see the tables data, just you can use the SE11 to SE16 transaction codes, view the table level tables data. Normally data stores table level in the database level, right? Where the tables are available, database level, when database level. But the data which is coming from application, it is storing into the database level table. Then can we see the data? What data is storing? What are the entries are there and everything? Then yes, what are the transaction code to view the data here, right? SE11 or SE16 transaction codes. Here we can see the, so this tables data, we can see it here. This table data, we can see it here. SE11 or SE11, so R SE16. So any transaction code from SE11 to SE16, any transaction code we can view it, then provide the table name, then we can view the data, table data, we can view it here, like which is there in the database level. You no need to log into the database level. From here, SAP itself, just to provide the table name, just suppose one of the table name, we call it GSR02, just to click on the display button. So here, so just we will get the table data. So why this type of slowness means? Yes, Jan, because of we are not executed the load generator. That's why it is this much of slow. Means taking compiling. All the programs are now compiling here, which means naturally we have to run before we use the system. We have to run the yes gen load generator program. We have to run it. Once successfully completed only, then we have to use the system here. Otherwise, you can see, so we have to wait until we will get the response from the system here. It's loading. So what it is doing, it is compiling the programs are executing in the back end. Then it is going and giving the response to the users here. So this is taking some time. Why? Because all the programs are now it is compiling. So if you run the SGen before we use the system, you won't face this much of slowness here. You won't face the this much of slowness here in the system, right? So that is what we have to so run in advance before we use the system here, right? So SE11 or SE16 is for the to view the table data. If any table data, if you want to view it, so then we can use the SE11 SE11 or SE16 just to provide the table name. Just click on the execute, then data will be displayed from the tables level. Data will be displayed from the table level here. That is what we have to check in the system here. That is what we have to check in the system. Okay. So SE11 or SE16 are the transaction code to view the table data. Suppose you want to check the, suppose USR02 is the one of the table name where all your users information will be stored in this table name. So now see, just get the table name. I given the table name, just trying to pull the table name here. Now we will get the data from the table here. We will get the data from the table name here. See here, we got the data. Now right, click on the execute button, content. I want to see the content here. So then the number of users will be displayed, how many users are there, all the information will be displayed in this table name here. Whenever you create the users, a number of users will be stored into the users table here, ESR02. So I want to see the how many users are there and everything here. Then if you open the table name, all the data will be displayed, all the data will be displayed here, all the data will be displayed here. So here, this much of slowness because of programs are compiling. Now today, if you finish all, if you finish this your program execution and everything, that will be very fast. That will be very fast of your screens and everything here. Right. So today, your work is so run the SGen for each and every component here. Run the SGen for each and every component here. Otherwise, see here we may face the this type of slowness here. Right. We may face the this type of slowness. So what we have to do, we need to run the SGen. Also, we need to practice the today's transaction codes like update and Enqueue related transaction codes. So like update SM13, then SM14 are for the Enqueue, SM12 is for Enqueue, and also you can also go to the SA38 and SE38, then foreground SE11, then SE11 to SE16, SE11 to SE16. So we can use this five transaction codes here. All right. So this is the frequently we have to use it here. These all are the part of the daily monitoring activities here. Daily monitoring means daily every day we have to log into the system. We need to execute the transaction code, see any field update records, what is the status of the update, are there any old log entries which are older than 24 hours. So we need to execute all those things here, right? So then these are the reports. Suppose someone asked you to execute the report or program, then you need to go to the transaction code, execute it. Someone asked you to, your manager asked you to view the table data, one of the table is given, he asked you to pull the data, then you need to use the SE11 or SE16, we have to use it to pull the data, here, right? So this is what we need to do it here. This is what we have to do it in the systems here, right? So this is what we have to do it here. See here, because of the one of the important thing is here load generator. Load generator means so execution of the programs. So that will run several hours. So then after that, your system will be very, very, very fast. When you execute the transaction code within fraction of minutes, seconds, you will get you will get the response from the system. You will get the response from the system here. Okay. So that is what we have to do it in the system.
Ravi,
Yes.
that SM38 you mentioned, right? The transaction code, correct?
Yes.
Where I mean,
SE 30.
two users, right? Okay, you mentioned if one is working, you gave the example of bus, right? Two users booking the bus ticket, the same
Ah,
thing at the
right,
same time.
right. Locking mechanism,
Yeah,
SM12.
locking mechanism, right? So I mean, that is something related to concurrency, yeah?
Concurrency, yes, right. Concurrency means multiple people. So means I am editing the suppose example is SAP level. If I talk about SAP language, so I am editing the one of the table called the suppose like ABCD. I am editing the one of the company code is called the ABCD company code. I am editing. So one person I am editing here. So At the same time, one more person he don't know, he is also logged into the remotely. He is also trying to edit the same table, same company code. Then its system will not allow this person to do that one, the second person to do that one. Why? Because system will show like, so, oh boss, the person, one more person is already editing. You have only display access. Once he is done it, you can just log in and you can do the your data, your changes in the system table level. So like that, it will give the information to him. Then how and who is doing this one? Here, the Enque work process is locking the your transaction. Blocking the your transaction means whenever you log into the system, then whenever you execute the transaction code, then immediately it will assign the one lock internally, lock LOCK, lock internally. So that what will happen whenever other person are doing, so then the log enqueue purpose will say like other person, this person is already doing this one. So you have only display access like that. It will show the information. So it kind of like maybe concurrency, maybe that word. Yeah, maybe it's like synonym of the same concurrency.
Yeah. So, what I've understood, I mean, unless and until the previous person finished the editing,
Right?
the
Yes, yes.
second request that is there, right? I mean, so if you're trying to access the table and update the record in the table, he will be, placed in a queue, correct? So
Right.
once the other person is done, I mean, updating the records and all, the lock will get removed, and the other
Yeah,
person
we
who's
can
there
do.
in the queue,
Right,
right, he will be
right,
able to update
right,
it, correct?
right. Sometimes what happens, right? That's your assumption is correct. Correct. Exactly. That is correct. So what will happen? Sometimes this person is trying to edit it here. So sometimes he will forgot to log out or he forgot to come back from the transaction code. He will forgot and he will go on leave or something, some other next day, something he will come like that. So then, so his session is still active. The lock entry is still open. Other persons will wait for some time, then he will escalate, saying that, so this person is trying to edit something like that. Still, I am unable to open. I am trying to do my delivery also. So very important. Like that, he will send a message. And again, we have to check as part of the day-to-day check. So when was the lock entry? So yesterday, then 24 hours completed, then we can delete it. We need to check with the user whether he is really doing the updates or he just to open the table and he left the so that left for the day. So then we need to check it out that one. So then he's not doing anything. We can remove the lock entry from SM12. So he's doing something. Then we have to inform him. So others are waiting something like that. The priorities we have to inform to him. So this type of like middleman job we have to do it. So in case of any old lock entries which are older than 24 hours, so we may have to remove it, delete that lock entry. Then only other person can do. Once the lock, sometimes what happens due to NQ issues, even though user is logged out, still the lock entry is there due to NQ issues. Normally we won't face. In case worst case scenario, the day is our bad day, then NQ will be still say that lock entries exist, then we have to go to the SM12. We need to check what went wrong and everything's here, right? So that kind of things we have to check in the SM12. Who will lock your transaction means SM12 NQ work process will lock it here. Where can we see SM12 transaction code? Where can you delete it? SM12 transaction code. Where can you check which user and which time SM12? All those things we can find out in the SM12.
So by default, I mean the request is locked, right? I mean for 24 hours, correct? After 24 hours,
No,
the
no,
lock
no,
can be
no,
removed by the
no,
basic
not the
request return.
24 hours. We have to set the threshold actually. We have to set the threshold. 24 hours, nothing will lock. So it will be stay in like to 48 hours, 2 days, 3 days, to 4 days also, the lock entry will stay. But as a administrator, we have to set the threshold. If any lock entry more than 24 hours, we have to remove it. That is the instructions we will get from our management. So then, so the team leads or everybody is okay, then we can delete the lock entry. That is our company wise that may change it. Sometimes some customers, some companies they will allow 2 days also, but 2 days means it's a very dangerous. Normally maximum 24 hours only. If the lock entry older than 24 hours, we are good to remove it. 24 hours who will work? No one will work, right? So continuously. That is the reason. So here you can see, I can see the table entry ESR02, all the, these are the users are exist in the table entry, right? So like this, we can also view the table data. from SE11 to SE16, we can also view the table data here. So just want to show this information. So once we complete all those things here, like all the SGen everything is completed, then you can try to access the system. You see that much of speed, how much it is speed here. Still you can see it is still running. SGen is running for one component. Once it is done, you can execute for the other components, other system. You have the two systems, you can execute it. So that system will be very fast.